Take heed of my foolish advice. I can hear my mom saying that to me. And so I am here to share with you 10 high school tips that I've retrieved from before we started, or just some that I've added in right now that we've had a few weeks under our belt. I want to share these tips with you and hope that it helps you. Welcome back to Homeschooling Through High School. Now, I don't think these are foolish tips or advice. As I was thinking about this video, I could hear my mom saying that in her cute little Jamaican voice. And so I just kind of put that in front as an intro, but hopefully you will find these tips helpful. I have 10 tips today, and I have another video with an additional 10 tips that will be coming out. So stay tuned for that. Let's start with tip number 1. We have had to redo the schedule several times for my 9th grader. So if you are new and just joining me, I have a 6th grader, 7th grader, and 9th grader this year. And these tips are primarily for that high schooler that you may have, or this may be your first year. And so I guess I stressed out too much about what will the transcript look like and how am I gonna get it done, all right? I think I spent most of my summer doing that. There you go, that's the truth. And I looked at the scheduling a little bit, and I, of course, got the classes down pat, kind of. And I really probably should have focused more on how is this schedule going to look like for my son, coming from 8th grade to 9th grade, knowing that the workload is more. There's responsibilities around the house. There's extracurricular activities that he wants to do, and he needs to sleep and relax, right? And so the schedule that I had written out didn't work out the first time. Week 2 didn't work out second time. And now we're redoing it again because I can just see in his face and his demeanor. It's too much and it's too all over the place. So keep that in mind. The schedule for your high schooler. There is a shift there. And as homeschoolers, you do have the opportunity to, like for example, we did a soft opening and it was still too much. It was still too much for him. Like I said, I read it in his face, his body language. And as he would speak to me, I could hear it in his heart. And so we are redoing the schedule for him to make it work for him. We are setting him up for success, not to fail. So if you need to redo the schedule, redo the schedule. And it'll also work out better for me as well. So we're gonna sit down and chat about it again. I spoke with my husband, he's helped me redo the schedule if you need to, and know that it's okay. All right, the next one, have weekly meetings with your child. So my husband and I have committed to having weekly meetings with James. This past weekend, we did it on Saturday. Usually we do it on Sunday. And we are just talking about what things are working, what's not. Is there a new activity that you'd like to do? Is there something we need to take away, something you don't understand? At this point, we're not really talking about scholarships, applying for them, but we are talking about keeping grades up for possible scholarships, all right? I have my high school binder here where I'm logging all of the notes. I do talk about having a high school binder for your child. You can see that in this video up here, and everything that's in there is listed in that video. But have weekly meetings. They could be 5 minutes. Now, this past weekend, the meeting that we had lasted about 20 minutes because James wanted to look up different technology classes, and so additional technology classes on top of what he is taking, things that he might be interested in. And so we spent some time just kind of browsing the internet and looking up the course descriptions and what that would mean for what he thinks that he would like to do later. Have a weekly meeting. You're not going to regret it. It's only going to help bond your relationship with your high schooler. And it's also just a nice, fresh way to find out what's going on, what's working. Maybe you need to pray about something together. Maybe he has something on his heart. So have a weekly meeting. The next one, if at all possible, try to be around other homeschool families. It's just so encouraging and uplifting to have that tribe around you of like-minded folks, okay? So don't neglect from doing that, I guess is my point. We are in a new area. We've moved to a new neighborhood. We need to rebuild our homeschooling network. And I'm looking forward to all the new folks that we will meet. But let me remind you, you might have a homeschooling family on your street, at your church, at the local jiu-jitsu class, wherever it might be. Try to connect with another homeschooling family, all right? Next, we are on number 3. This is number 4. Know that you don't need to teach everything. If you need to outsource a class, outsource that class. If there is anything that has anything to do with dissecting animals of any sort, I'm not doing it, okay? And so it is in all of my kids' best interest for me not to dissect anything, because I'll probably throw up and pass out in front of them. I just can't. It just turns my stomach. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with outsourcing subjects. You can do it online. You can dual enroll your child if you feel they are up to it. You can have a grandparent, a spouse, a trusted neighbor, an enrichment program, a co-op. There are so many other things online that are just free. When it comes to even high school sources, you can do a Google search for that. There are so many ways. Do not feel less than. If you are outsourcing something, you don't have to do it all right? And so I wanted to throw that in there. Another way is that if you are on any type of social media platform like Facebook or Instagram or that sort of thing, there's lots of homeschooling groups, and even homeschooling groups in your area that you can search for. That is another way that you can outsource one of your subjects. All right, the next one. Remember that you are in life school, and everything can become a home ec or a life skill school project. So I have some videos coming up of a bunch of life skills that I'm showing the kids. So it's the first of the month right now, the beginning of September, and doing everything from cleaning out the filters in the dishwasher to showing them the washing machine and how that's done, to cleaning the stove properly, etc., etc. These are all little things that they can tag along with you, all right, and be an apprentice and watch you if you have not taught them already, and show them the life skill that they'll need for the future. So remember that there are constant items going on every single day that you can include your child in, even in the younger grades. That is a life skill, all right? This one, stay on top of them with whatever due dates you have. So you know the saying, if you're not 10 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. This is a precious and a strict time to make sure that they are aware of due dates and keeping on time. So very soon, some of these teenagers, including my son, will be off to get a part-time job maybe, right? And they are gonna have to know that they have to be on time, or they'll get docked or get fired. So incorporate that. When you say that this research paper is due tomorrow at 5, make sure you keep to that and make sure that they know what is expected of them. All right, let me say this, the next tip. Dual enrollment is not for everybody, and just because it's available for your child doesn't mean you should jump on that bandwagon. You need to consider their personality, you need to consider their level of maturity, along with a long list of other things. They may have an early birthday that pushes them into the 9th grade, but they're still 13, 14, right? And it just might be too soon. So take that into consideration. I'll have more on that in another video, but just kind of think about that. And just because everybody else might be doing dual enrollment right now in the 9th grade doesn't mean that you should feel bad if you're not. Okay, 2 more. On this high school journey, make sure that you include simple things, if you haven't done this already, such as speaking skills, how to use Microsoft Office, note-taking, and things along those lines. So I'll be including some of this in my life skills videos, but I wanted to kind of drop that nugget right now so that you can be thinking about it, how you're going to incorporate it. I don't want to just wait till the summer time comes to make sure that we have some of those skills. I want to kind of sprinkle them in as I can and not make it too much of an overload for my 9th grader, and even start with your 6th and 7th grader and 8th grader as well. But just remember that simple skills such as speaking, doing presentations, using Microsoft Office, so forth and so on, is needed. So the next tip, number 9, is to make sure that the classes that you are choosing or that you have chosen or that you will for second semester align with what your child wants to do or thinks that they want to do. And then lastly, I want all of you to repeat after me. Are you ready? Thou shalt have a relationship with blank child. So for me, thou shalt have a relationship with James. So one was maybe 2 or 3 people that I've spoken to reminded me to make sure that I know that algebra can wait. However, my relationship with my children needs to be nurtured now. Nurture your relationship with your child. And if that means you need to stop whatever you're doing. So yes, we have to stop algebra right now because we're not communicating well. He's not getting it. She's not getting it. And we need to do something fun, play a card game, go take a walk, go get some ice cream, or we just need to not do school today because we need a mental break, or we do have to have school just so that we can keep our relationship with our child. Then do so. I know that this particular tip, many people may not agree with me on, but I'm here to tell you that your relationship with your child, nurturing your relationship with your child and making sure that it's there will only produce great results. Not only should you be doing that, but in our family, we believe to nurture our relationship with our child as well as nurturing their relationship with God. And what does that look like? And remember that your kids are watching you every single step you take. All right, some of you know that song, right? Every move I make, every smile I take, I'll be watching you. All right, well, your kids are watching you. And just keep that on the forefront of your mind. All right, take time to listen to your kids. I know it's funny because sometimes they just want to kind of babble on about things you may not understand. I know that my son, he's so patient with me because sometimes he talks about, certain things, and I'm just like, I don't understand, I'm sorry. Can you show it to me? Or, can you repeat that, please? And I just let him talk. And I try my best to make sure I understand what he's saying by the time he's done and to put that time in with him. And I am here to remind you to have a relationship with your child. I'm telling you, English literature paper can wait, all right? But your relationship with your child needs to be nurtured so that when it does come time for you to chat about some of the harder things or have your child open up to you, they will know how much you love them, how much you're there for them, and how much you're willing to listen. And they will appreciate the fact that you have done something fun and spontaneous with them. Have a relationship with your child. All right, till next time, I'll have 10 more tips. Yes, I have more. I have 10 more tips for you. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.